Recording. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Trees Trove Sports. Here we're doing our match day review on match day two. For my bilingual listeners here, bienvenido. Um, yo soy Don Caleb Cristianos y yo soy how do you say happy?
Feliz
Yo
muy
soy muy
happy.
feliz. Tú estás aquí. Gracias.
De
I
nada.
say frio. Anyway, I'm learning Spanish and I gotta practice. I'm Caleb Christensen.
I am Caleb Switzer.
I'm Carmelo Ayala, aka the greatest of all time.
aka Carsmello Ayala.
Hey,
Um, and today, like say, we will be going over match day two. So I noticed last time I didn't quite have enough of the stats up. It was just kind of our faces going around. So we're gonna try and do some screen sharing. It'll be my first time trying to do it here. But yeah, so to start with our matches, we had Papa Tree versus Cruz Demas. We had Roman versus Luigi. We had David Caleb versus Dami Tommy. Aaron versus Big Set the Mountain, and Melo versus Big Set the Mountain. So we see going into this match day that Melo had his debut. He had his first game. So that's interesting to see. We also see that Big Set the Mountain had the double header. And so I'd like to get into that, see how that goes. Do you guys have any starting remarks on the matches we witnessed?
Which one? The
Any of them, just some starting remarks, and then we'll get into the deep dive.
Zoroark sweep
Zoroark sweep.
or
Okay.
the GLISCOR sweep.
Oh, GLISCOR sweep. Yes.
I
I'm
can't.
excited to
I
get into
can't think today.
that. New Mellow?
all I'm saying is I felt like I'm improving as I play.
Yes.
So whoever wants some, come get some.
Yes. We just had match day three where Mello did a lot of stuff. That's going to be an exciting one to go over, but match day three isn't technically finalized, which is why we haven't put out that video yet. But without further ado, we're going to take you to the spreadsheet here. I believe this should share. All right. Can everyone see that?
It's black. There we go.
Okay.
Ah,
So perfect. So first we look at Papa Tree versus Cruz Demas. So some insane drama here. As you can see, Papa Tree comes out with the W against Cruz. But if you look deep into the numbers, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? So officially in the match, me and the Tundra Titans lost. However, Cruz once again broke the point cap, and as a result, ended up losing due to forfeit. He brought in Landorus Therian, who you don't see on the stat sheet here. Illegal Pokemon took him over the point cap, and so he did get the forfeit. But you can see his stats here: King Gambit with 3 and 2, Hisuian Zoroark 2 deaths, not a great showing. Swampert with 1 and 2, Gyarados with 2 deaths. Toxicroak really the only one doing much for him with 4 kills and 2 deaths. And then Urshifu Single Strike with 1 and 2. We look at Cruz's side. Of course, Latios, name of the game. He's kicking butt. Everyone else just kind of did their things, but they did take some casualties. Now I'll open it up for some discussion from our other hosts here.
All I'm saying is if you signed up and you don't know the rules, you shouldn't even be in the league because if this happens twice, you should be booted.
I mean,
I know
that
this
is,
dude
yeah,
dude likes to cheat a lot, and it's just unfair for the other people.
that is very true. I mean, you can see we've had Cruz break the rules twice. We've had Lugi forfeit twice. Maybe the league needs to come up with something. How far can you take it before you're just booted out of the league? You know, that's something we'll have to look into as we get better. David, Caleb, your thoughts?
well, as they say, third time's the charm, and he is riding that point cap very, very closely with 15 of 15 points used. So definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yes, for sure. A little bit of behind the scenes on that match is King Gambit getting 3 kills there. Late in the rounds, Cruz was sweeping at first, but King Gambit did put up a fight, which took us down to some one-on-ones and one-on-two matches, which are actually pretty close games, even though the stats don't quite show it. So some good matches there. Me personally, as the coach, I thought I could have done a lot better there. I mean, I had 2 Pokemon that were immune to psychic types and therefore pretty much immune to Luster Purge. And I didn't realize it. I didn't know my players were that talented. And because of that, I got swept by Latios and kind of let him run the board. So it's definitely something I'll need to look into for my next match is, what are my players capable of? Not only what is my opponent weak to, but what am I strong against? What am I weak against? And that's definitely something that I'm growing as a coach and learning more about my players. And I think next time I'm going to get the official win against Cruz instead of just his forfeit win, which looks good on the stat sheet, but does indeed hurt my pride. So,
Yeah.
thank you. Going on to our next match here, we had Roman versus Luigi. And so this was another forfeit match. Luigi with his second forfeit in a row. You hate to see it. Roman's Pokemon get 2 kills each. Roman gets a 12-0 win. What do you guys have to say to Luigi? What's your message to Luigi going on a second straight forfeit?
Man, quit texting your girlfriend and get on the games. That's all I gotta say because if you're forfeiting 2 weeks in a row with what I've heard, some of the greatest Pokemon is on his team, might as well give those Pokemon some good use and switch it to a different team. I'm talking about my team or
Yeah.
anybody else's team.
We do not encourage player sniping here. Anyway, David Caleb, on to you.
I don't know. That Dragapult's looking pretty spicy.
But yes, I mean, we are talking, like I said, we talked about this last week. We got Dragapult, Garchomp, some great players on this team. But like I say, could have MVP runs, could have very successful battles, but just aren't getting to see the field. They're just sitting on the sideline at home. And I like to iterate that it is very hard to forfeit in our league. Um, I mean, if you tell us, oh, tonight doesn't work for me, this time doesn't work for me, we will work with you and try to find a time that does work. I mean,
Yeah.
with Roman, we had to shoot back the matches a little bit today. Um, with Big Seth and Dami Tommy, neither of them were able to battle tonight, but we're rescheduling so they do both get that opportunity rather than, no call, no show. I don't care. I'm not going to answer your calls. I'm not going to tell you I'm busy. I'm just going to leave you to figure that out. So you hate to see it, but hopefully we'll see some improvements there in attendance from Lukey because he does have a very good, solid squad and could go deep into the playoffs if he was able to put that effort in.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So next we have David Caleb and Domi Tommy's match. David Caleb, I'd
Ah,
like to
yes.
hear a little bit about what you thought. I mean, obviously, a great performance from GLISCOR. Tell us what went into that as a coach.
Well, um, we've always understood the immense potential that GLISCOR has, and it was really incredible to see it on display in this battle. Poison heal from the toxic orb and the constant healing throughout the battle, just keeping him alive, and then Hassad's sword stance really putting in the numbers.
Yes, of course. And I mean, that's 10 kills, no deaths. That's not even like, kind of sending him out there to try and get a few cheap kills and sacrificial pawn type deal. That's just utter dominance on the boards. I mean, I want to be MVP. Here's why, right there.
Yeah,
I mean, like I say, we didn't see a lot from him in week one, but he wasn't needed yet. Venusaur took care of it. We talked about David Caleb setting up with Sun and how that was important to his team, and it was challenged. What happens if Sun doesn't get set up? How are you going to respond to this? And the answer is GLISCOR. That is how he responds. That is the
Yep,
answer. And you see that with
pretty
10
much.
kills and 0 deaths. Um,
And spoilers for match three. History may be repeating itself.
indeed, indeed. Mello, your thoughts on this battle between David Caleb and Domi Tommy?
I feel like David Caleb played a really solid strategic battle, had every tactic known to man, made it hard for Dirty Dommy Tommy to definitely try to get a kill. Dommy Tommy may have tried to put up a fight, but the fight wasn't just good enough.
Indeed, indeed. We look at Domi Tommy's side, Domi Tommy and the Dirty Ditto crew coming off a very rough loss last week to Cruz and just facing the same mistakes. We see that Roaring Moon did get a kill. That is the first kill for the team on the season. So congrats to Roaring Moon there. But like I say, just not a great showing there for Domi Tommy. I mean, I think he still hasn't fixed that imposter ditto yet. It still doesn't have
Oh yeah.
imposter on it. I mean, that's a simple fix that the coaches just aren't taking the steps to make it happen. I mean, I don't know if it's laziness on their side or, just an utter ignorance of the game, really. But you hope to see those coaching changes, see a little bit more of a plan. I don't think there's a whole lot of plan in mind. I mean, we saw a couple times where like say there's a flying type out there and we're trying to use earthquake on it, and that's just not going to work out for our team. A lot of immunities that were being attacked and just was not working out for them. So hopefully we'll see some more improvement from Domi Tommy, but at least improvement from last week, at least getting 1 kill in this match. All right, so next our match was Aaron versus Big Set the Mountain. You see, it was a 1-12 score there with Big Set the Mountain just getting a ginormous win there. Um, I'll give it to these two fellas to talk it out a little bit here.
Well, we see Claude Sire again, really putting in the work, doing
Yes,
the like boosting up for 8 billion rounds and then slowly chipping away at the opponent.
yes, indeed.
Took the words right out of my mouth, honestly.
Yes, that was indeed the name of the game here was Claude Sire. Um, Putting in great effort there, 7 kills, 0 deaths. Set up the stealth rocks, which was doing great damage. Um, he has which ability, or he has recover, the move recover, which just
Yeah.
makes him an absolute tank. He also has curse, which they say it's a curse, but really when it's a slow Pokemon in the first place, you're gaining lots of attack and defense there. So, I mean, and that showed he just slicing through Aaron's team there. We did see about where Clodsire and Arcaludon were going to head. I mean, just two big tanks working on each other. But Clodsire with that recover is really what changed the game there and allowing him to recover from some of the big hits that Arcaludon gave him and just being able, war of attrition, wait it out, just big cats slugging on each other, and Clodsire gets the win there. So, additionally, Aaron gets his first kill of the season with Great Tusk on Urshifu Rapid Strike. Something to point out there.
Hey.
Um, Aaron's still learning as a player. I, although it doesn't show up on the scoreboard, he did play a lot better of a game. I'm excited to see how he progresses. Look into week 3, he progressed a lot. But yeah, fun game there. Fun game. Anything for you guys to add? Perfect.
Def that recover definitely does make a difference when it's two tank Pokemon going up against each other.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. All right. Looking into the last match for match day 2, we had Melo versus Big Set the Mountain. Once again, Melo's debut game. Very new to Pokemon, doesn't know much, but put up a great fight. Tell us what was going through your head during this match, Melo.
Oh man. What was going through my head was that I had to lock in or hit Chud status on the debut,
Right.
but I felt like some of my players definitely did a good job of at least holding down a fort and not making it like a 12-0 game.
Right.
So very proud, and I hope to see some improvement.
Indeed, indeed. David, Caleb, your thoughts on this match?
Um, oh boy, my mind just went blank.
No,
A
you're good.
Ninetales with the setup constantly on Seth's team with that Aurora Veil is very, very useful and very tried and true strategy of his.
Yes. That Seth loves setting up the Aurora Veil. He loves setting up the Blizzard. Really trying to get Sheen Pow in there to get some big kills on some of Melo's tankier Pokemon. You talk about Iron Hands there and Baxcalibur, and we also look at Incineroar there with 4 kills and 0 deaths. Incineroar was putting the work in. Um, just was getting some really good switches and stuff against Melo, where he had the great type advantage and was able to get it done. You see Clodsire not as effective against Melo's team. That's just, I mean, very different teams there between Melo and Aaron, and Melo's team a little bit tankier. Um, but still, great showing from Clodsire. 1 kill, 1 death, going even. Amoonguss with 1 death. Urshifu Rapid Strike, 2 kills, 0 deaths. Incineroar, 4 kills and 0 deaths. Sheen Pao, 2-2. And Alolan Ninetales, 3-2. Looking at Melo's side, Annihilate just going out twice. Melo's still trying to figure out how to use this new Pokemon. I don't think he quite took advantage of him yet, but working to learn that. Iron Hands 2-2, Primarina 2-2, Baxcalibur 2 deaths, Komodo 2 deaths, and Rillaboom going 2-2. Um, you didn't watch the game, but Melo had some good switches, some good tactical plays. Learning types, learning weaknesses and strengths, and really put up a better showing than we thought it was going to be. I think most of us did expect a 12-0 route there, but a great job by Melo to get some points put on the board there against a very nice team from Big Set the Mountain. Um, yes. So I think that really recaps our matches for this week. However, what we would like to talk about next is our own personal players of the week, and we'll go into the official league players of the week. So, starting with me, um, my player of the week, obviously got to give it to GLISCOR. 10 kills, 0 deaths, utter dominance. No one else on the board was even close. Um, you just love to see it from him. And then my honorable mention would be Clodsire with the 7-0. And then my next honorable mention would probably have to be Latios. I'm preying on his downfall a little bit after what he did to me in our matchup. Like say, just poor showing by me. I shouldn't hold that against the player. It's what he was coached to do. It's what he was born to do, and he did a great job of it. But that would be my 3 players. And then looking at our gem of the week, I would probably have to go with, let's see, when you think of a gem, you think about someone who's maybe not the flashiest, you know, maybe doesn't do get all the kills, but does some dirty work, right? And for that reason, I think I would have to go with Alolan Ninetales. I know people do like him a lot, but really, like say, I know Seth uses him mostly as a setup Pokemon. So to go out and get those 3 kills on the match, you love to see it. You love to see it. All right. David Caleb, please share with us your player of the week, honorable mentions, and then your gem of the week.
Well, for player of the week, we here at Menacing Manders do are very biased, and that is definitely Gliscor, hands down.
Yes.
And yes, so For honorable mention, though, let's see here. I would actually I'd put down Incineroar, like a very, very tech option from Big Seth the Mountain there.
Yes, I like that pick. I do.
Yeah, it's not getting the most kills, but definitely putting creating difficult situations.
Right. And I mean, the the fact that he got 4 kills and 0 deaths, that's what impresses me is the 0 deaths there. Very tactical, well-placed hits that got him those kills, but kept him from taking heavy hits there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And then for gem of the week, let's see. Um, that is a great question. I would probably also do a Alolan Ninetales because again, very tech option walking, so Clodsire could run in that match.
Yes. Yes. I love to hear it. All right. Mello, now for your player of the week, honorable mentions, and your gem of the week.
All right. Well, obviously, my player of the week has to go with Mr. 10 and 0 GLISCOR. If I
Can't
said that
compete.
right.
Uh,
My honorable mention would definitely go to Clodsire with the 7-0.
yes, I mean, that's like 7-0 if like Clodsire walked so Gliscor can run like any other. It's just like you look at shot put, the world record holder is Ryan Krauser. I mean, just blows a shot put out of there. And then you have Joe Kovacs, who also throws over 23 meters, but just doesn't quite get that recognition because Ryan Krauser is just that elite level athlete. That's kind of what we're looking at here. Is Gliscor is just on another level. Clodsire is also insane, but it just Gliscor is so insane that it makes Clodsire look bad, which is insane looking at our league.
My other honorable mention definitely would have to go to Incineroar, Mr. 4-0.
Good pick, good pick.
Say my
All right. Oh,
hidden
sorry.
gem. My hidden gem. I'll have to go with Nine Tails as well.
Nine tails. Okay, interesting. So the panel here pretty thinking the same thing, pretty much on the same page here with who we voted for. Um, let's see the official league results here. So if we go to our weekly awards, so player of the week is indeed going to be Gliscor from the Menacing Manders. Like I say, we just talked about it. The 10 and 0, you can't compete with that. You can try, it doesn't work very well. Just an amazing showing from him there. Not much else to say other than utter dominance. He deserves this more than anyone this week. I mean, the most dominating show that we've seen all season, even though we're only 2 weeks in. So, any other thoughts on Gliscor?
He earned it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should be very proud of yourself, coach. Be very proud
Oh
of
yeah.
yourself. All right. For our honorable mention, official honorable mention is Clodsire. So Clodsire from the Shrieking Shreks. Officially on the week, he did have 8 kills and 1 death because of the double match there. Um, and that puts him at still that +7 on his plus or minus, which, like I say, is an insane elite level showing. The only reason he's not player of the week this week is because of Gliscor. I mean, that's also, I mean, if there was a player of the week, it would be those two. I mean, unfortunate to see Clodsire get honorable mention after putting up such a dominant performance here, but also great for the league that we have such elite level players. Any other thoughts? Perfect. All right, we have 10 minutes left in our Zoom meeting here. Um, our next honorable mention is Latios from the El Paso EVs. Not the star of the show this week. He was last week, but still with 8 kills and 2 deaths. That puts him at +6 on the plus minus. Nothing to, that's right behind Claude Sire. Um, that's a great game for him as well. Like say, partially because of poor coaching on the other end, but Latios still went out there and got the kills and did his job. So great job to Latios there from the El Paso EBs, trying to make that MVP run on here.
Yeah.
Any thoughts
Although
on Latios?
unfortunately, spoilers from week 3.
Yes, oof, Latios. Oh, yes. See if David Caleb can find a way to stop him. All right. And then lastly, for our official gem of the week, it's going to go to Toxicroak from the Tundra Titans. He was 4 kills and 2 deaths. So just above Alolan Ninetales there, which was the panel selection with 3 and 2. Um, my thing on Toxicroak here, I like this pick. He didn't play last week, kind of came out of nowhere. Wasn't sure how he was going to do against a pretty stacked Cruz Demus El Paso EVs team, but Toxicroak doing better than King Gambit, Urshifu Single Strike, and some of the heavy hitters on that team. So Toxicroak really was that hidden gem where you look at 3 other Pokemon that should have way outperformed him, but he went out there and shined out above all of them. So I think that's a great example of hidden gem. Your thoughts on Toxicroak as the pick there?
It was a good pick. Definitely a great pick.
Yeah, you gotta love Sucker Punch users. It's just, oh,
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, folks, I believe that does us in for the week. Um, Thank you for tuning into Trees Trove. Of course, next we will have our match day 3 recap. I know today wasn't as exciting maybe as the match day 1 recap as we had a little bit more to go over there. But thank you for joining in here. I hope you keep watching and you're enjoying the content. Tried to show you guys a little bit more today, maybe in the next couple of videos, try and include some highlights from some of the different players and stuff. But yes, thank you everyone for watching. I've been Caleb Christensen.
I've been David Caleb with food in my mouth.
Um, I've been Melo. Yeet.
And thank you for watching. Everyone give him a Treestro flex on the way out.
Uh...
Yes, sir. Okay.